Yo, what's up guys? Today we are back on Pokemon Showdown, and if you can read the title, we are here. Basically, I'm going to show you guys a competitive guide, or attempt to do a competitive guide on team building in Pokemon Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire 6th Gen. A competitive guide. So, before you even start building, there's a couple things you need to know. One, first off, it is impossible to build the perfect team. It is impossible to counter all 700 plus Pokemon. Granted, there are different tiers. If you're in OU, the Ubers are gone, so you only have to beat like 600 something Pokemon. If you're in UU, maybe 500 something Pokemon. RU 400, NU 300 something Pokemon. Okay, whatever. But it is impossible. There is no combination of 6, no move slot of 4 times 6 that can beat every single Pokemon. So you're always going to have a weakness to something. There's always going to be that one Pokemon that can beat your team. But there are ways you can work around this. So before, again, I want to say there's also different types of teams you can build. There are hyper offensive teams. Basically, these are 6 offensive threats. You generally have a hazard setter, 5 offensive mons to take advantage, maybe a Scarfer, etc., etc. There's bulky offense. It's our bulkier alternative to hyper offense, where your mons are a bit fatter that can take hits. Like, let's say you're using like an offensive Suicune, an offensive Latias, etc., etc. There is balance. Balance is one of my favorite playstyles. Basically, you have offensive threats, but you also have mons like pivots. You have stuff like defensive Landorus T, Ferrothorn, etc. that you can pivot from. That way you can actually take hits. There's stall, where you're completely just wearing down your opponent by switching or by having hazards, etc., etc. So there's a bunch of different play styles. There's semi-stall. There's a bunch of other stuff. So that's something I want to do or tell you guys now. Before you actually build a team, you're gonna want a couple tools. You need a couple tools to actually build a successful team. Honestly, this isn't always what you need. You can generally pick 6 Pokemon if you want, I guess, and maybe they'll work out for you. But one, you need Pokemon Showdown. So if you want to build a team, you need Pokemon Showdown because they have a team builder, which is right here. Oh crap, I already showed the Pokemon that I want to start off with today. You need Pokemon Showdown, okay? 2, you need a damage calculator. Now, everything will be linked in the description. This is actually the ORAS damage calculator, which I don't think is released on Showdown just yet. As you see, it has, Mega Sableye, etc. So it has ORAS Pokemon, ORAS Megas, released with the new move tutors, etc., etc. One of the main reasons why I'm using Showdown over Wi-Fi or my basically my DS, because I do have capture cards, so I could show you guys from my DS. 1, I'm very limited on that thing. 2, I believe this is better, more competitive wise. I can show you guys a lot more by showing it from Pokemon Showdown. Alright, another thing you're going to need, especially if you're just hopping into a new tier and you don't know, the Viability rankings list. This is basically the list of the best mons voted by the community, i.e. a bunch of people on this forum that say the best mons in the tier. So this is OU, for example. So S rank being the highest rank reserved for Pokemon that are amazing in the OU metagame. It has Greninja, Lando T, Latios, Metagross, Thunderous. Now this doesn't necessarily mean they're you can have Pokemon in this list like for example, A+ has Clefable. Clefable might not be the most offensive threat, but it's a great defensive Pokemon. It can set up, etc., etc. So don't take these to heart. This just really helps you when you're getting into a new tier or you want to see what's most used in the tier. Another thing you'll need, which I actually don't have at the moment just because I haven't looked for it, is the usage stats. This is if you want to get into a new tier. So the usage stats for OU to see what is the most used, because this is what you need to take into account when building a team. Again, guys, I'm going to be building an actual team in this video. I'm just breaking down what we need beforehand. So you're going to need the usage stats or the viability rankings. I think both, either or, are fine. I'm here with the viability rankings. Again, everything will be linked in the description. Now, this is kind of, you don't really need this, but I like to use this. I know also my friend Hugo likes to use this. It's basically Maryland's team builder. It's very pretty. That's why I'm using it, and it shows you a lot of the weaknesses slash resistances that your team has. Now, you shouldn't always base a team based on, oh, my team has 4 ice weaknesses, I can't use it. Well, if I'm running hyper offense, I don't care if I have all those weaknesses, as long as I can beat the biggest threats in the tier, or the main threats in the tier, etc., etc. You're not going to have a team that can cover everything. So that basically covers what you're going to need in building. And again, right before we start the actual building, I don't know how much time has gone by. How much? 5 minutes? Okay, I guess we're on time track. I don't know, guys. Again, I've never done this before. I know how to build. Not much of a builder though, because honestly it takes time to build a very solid team, I feel, especially when you're building for tournaments and stuff. And I'll actually get into that at the end of the video after we make the team. I'll talk more about specific ways to build and why you build certain ways, so stay tuned for that. Basically, another thing, what the hell was I saying? Alright, another thing you want to know is what your playstyle does. Balance, one of the main reasons I like is because, like I said, you're able to switch into moves. You can outsmart your opponent by, not really outsmarting, but just switching into Pokemon that takes the best move, and you can predict when you need to, as opposed to hyper offense, which is very, very prediction reliant. So when you're starting to build a team, okay, as you guys see, I have Alomomola. I wanted to build a team around Alomomola and Raikou. I think Alomomola is a crazy good Pokemon. Not crazy good, honestly. That's just an overstatement or exaggeration, whatever. But it's one of the few Pokemon that can take hits from Greninja and basically wish pass around. Standard Greninja, this is why we have the Pokemon calculator. Standard Greninja right now, all-out attacker. It's not running Grass Knot. It's running Dark Pulse, etc. Hidden Power Fire, Gunk Shot, etc., etc. So the Alomomola spread that I have chosen, I've actually done the calcs, but I will go through them with you, is Calm Nature, 232 HP. This gives my Alomomola a Leftovers number, which means that I get the most recovery from Leftovers, and I take minimal damage from Stealth Rocks. So it'll be doing less damage turn per turn, or the turn that I switch in, I take less HP. It still does the exact percentage that Stealth Rocks will be doing, but I take less HP from it. And I decided to run a really, really specially defensive or specially oriented set, just because its physical defense is already pretty good, coupled with that huge HP stat. You really don't need to run much defense on this Pokemon, but the max speed def is what makes it really, really, really good Greninja check, as you guys will see. So I'm going to use the UU defensive set just to show you guys. I'm not using this, but basically 252, and then I put the rest in defense, as it is Calm Nature. And I'm just going to show you these damage calcs. Dark Pulse does 31 to 37%, HP Fire does crap, Ice Beam does crap, Hydro Pump does crap. Even if they do run okay, the rare Grass Knot, 47 to 55, I switch into that. I take Leftovers. I can live the next one. I also have Protect to also live another one. I haven't gone over my moveset yet, but I will have Protect. So, and also, let's say they're running Naive, 40 attack EVs, Gunk Shot. Probably Gunk Shot does 37 to 47. So to this set. So Alomomola basically eats up a hit. That's why I wanted to use it. Now the preferred ability is Regenerator. Of course, that lets you just get back a third of its max HP when it switches out. I was definitely not reading this right here. And Leftovers is just the item to go, as that Leftovers recovery is what makes the difference between a 2-hit KO and a 3-hit KO. So a great thing about Alomomola is it's a great Wish passer. So Wish is definitely going to be in the moveset. Now Protect, again, Protect makes, what the hell? I did not add you. Protect makes the difference between Protect shows the difference between, you know, living attack and it being a 2-hit KO. So Protect, Scald is its best form of offense, honestly. And the last moveset for now, we're going to put Toxic, because Toxic allows you to wear down walls. And we'll mess around with this later. So I'm actually just going to put in the Pokemon that we have. Ooh, what is it? Okay. Whoops. Unova. Alomomola. Okay, and we're going to put in Raikou. So that is, I'm just going to put Johto, whatever. Raikou. So as you can see, we have Alomomola and Raikou, and currently looking at the team, we have resistances to flying, resistance is steel, fire, water. We have one weakness to electric, but we also have one resistance, a weakness to grass, and a resistance to ice. So again, you don't always have to build your teams based on resistances. Honestly, I find if someone says, oh, your team is weak to ice, fire, water, grass, okay, that's cool as long as you can beat the main Pokemon. But Alomomola, I wanted to use this Pokemon because, as you can see by the OU viability rankings, Greninja is just top, and Greninja is honestly a monster right now. It's a huge threat, and Alomomola honestly stops that thing. It also stops Azumarill just with its bulk. It takes hits from Keldeo, takes hits from the Latias, etc., etc. So it's just a great special wall in general. And I wanted to run Alomomola plus Raikou because I decided I wanted to run Choice Specs Raikou. Not necessarily the best. I love to run Leftovers on this thing because it lets it take hits from Thunderous for days, Manectric, etc. The best thing Manectric can do is overheat. And we're just going to go with the Thunderbolt Volt Switch combination. Arguably, you know, the best two electric moves, as Hidden Power Ice lets us not get walled by ground types. And the last move set, we'll probably think about that more later on, as we'll see. But for now, we're going to put Shadow Ball because Shadow Ball hits the Lati twins for more, as well as hitting Gengar for damage. And Timid Nature is a preferred nature. You want to be able to outspeed the Lati twins, Latias and Latios, of course. Latios being another S-rank Pokemon. Also Thunderous, outspeeding that. And basically base 110s, I believe that's what it is. Base 110. I don't know. I don't remember them by base whatever. I remember them by their actual stats. And this also lets you outspeed Gengar, Megalade, etc., Keldeo. So I decided on going max speed. Again, we can always play around with this. And for now, max speed, max special attack. And we'll just put the rest in Spadef. So, looking at our team. As you can see, we have a huge weakness. Not a huge weakness, but we have a weakness to ground. We also have an electric weakness, which not necessarily bad. But honestly, right now, a good Pokemon to put on the team, a bulky ground type. We want Stealth Rocks as well. So we're gonna hop on or put on rather a Landorus T. Now Landorus T, one of my favorite Pokemon. Honestly, it's my most used Pokemon on any team. This is my most used Pokemon. I love this Pokemon. And I'm going to use it as Stealth Rocker for now. We could change around the sets. We're probably going to change around Pokemon as we go. And Earthquake is great. Just spamming the stab. Stone Edge helps it be a bird check. We actually have, if you look at the team, I'm going to put in Landorus T right now. Hello? Please work. Thank you. What were you? Nova, I think? No? Landorus, okay, Landorus T. It says Landorus, but it says Therian form, so that's recognized right there. So Landorus T, Stone Edge helps you be a bird check, and as I was saying before, we actually have three bird checks. We have Landorus T, and two pseudo bird checks in Alomomola and Raikou, as Alomomola can potentially beat Talonflame depending on Wish, Protect, Toxic, and Raikou can also beat it unless they're running Jolly and they get to +2 and knock me out with Flare Blitz. So we have a nice bird check, and we have two pseudo bird checks right here. So that's really nice. I'm not scared about Talonflame, which is another Pokemon on this list somewhere. Talonflame, Pinsir. Though Pinsir isn't as common right now. I'm not scared about those two Pokemon. This also gives us a Zard X check, as well as a buffer for Terrakion, a switch-in for Garchomp, etc., So it's a good Pokemon overall. It also gives us a nice switch-in for Lopunny, Megalade, and Excadrill. So this also helps us versus sand teams. This helps us versus bird spam. Landorus T, in general, a great Pokemon. That's why it's S rank. It's a great Pokemon. You don't lose anything from using this Pokemon. So last U-turn, nice with the Volt Switch, U-turn, Volt Core, whatever it's called. And we're gonna want the Impish Nature. And we'll play around with these EVs later on, but I don't know if I really want to outspeed Bisharp at the moment, so I might go 240 speed, but I might just keep it. I might just go minimal speed. That way I can outspeed Speed Creeping Rotom and the rest in defense, and just 248 HP. So that's basically what we're doing right now. As you can see by a team builder, again, I don't always build with this crap. We're still pretty weak to grass. We don't have a resistance as of yet, but we've covered all the other weaknesses. We actually have 2 for electric, not really the best electric check because the electrics running around are Thunderous, which isn't as common, Manectric, Raikou, and Rotom Wash. So those are all Pokemon that can beat Landorus T. So we honestly only have one electric check, in my opinion, being a thing. But as you can see, we are weak to Grass. We are also annoyed by Fairy Spam. We are also annoyed by Ferrothorn. Steel types in general. And looking at the list, what else? We check Mega Metagross, which is great. We check Landorus T. We're weak to Latias. Not really, because Alomomola takes a hit. This thing outspeeds it and can hit it hard. But we're still annoyed by it. And Clefable is a huge threat at the moment. So Clefable is definitely annoying. So what do you want to do? Let's toss on a Steel. So I'm thinking Jirachi. Jirachi is a really cool Pokemon. Not only does it beat Clefable and can beat Ferrothorn, it also sets up on Ferrothorn. So I'm going to be using the substitute Fire Punch Toxic set. I love the combination of Iron Head flinching plus toxic damage just racking up. And basically you're going to be wanting, you want to run max HP. This gives you one-on-one substitutes. That means that Chansey and Blissey, not that they're that common at all, but they can't break your sub with one Seismitoss. They need two Seismitosses. This also lets you live Slowbro, Scald, Dry Balls, a 2-hit KO from Ferrothorn, etc., etc. So we actually going to be wanting to run Jolly Natured, and this is basically the speed I always run on Rachi, somewhere around here. Basically, probably around here, just because I want to outspeed the other things like the Kyurem Blacks that try and hit like 292, etc., etc. And basically, this lets us outspeed Pokemon like Mamoswine, which are threats, and we can flinch them beforehand. This also lets us get up fast subs. Actually, we can go a bit more because this will let us outspeed Pokemon like Heracross, for example, and Pinsir before they Mega Evolve and potentially flinch them or get off a Toxic, etc., etc. So we're gonna be running this spread. Sapphire Punch, the 120 attack. Let's just show you guys how much it does. I think it has. They have Sub Rachi. Well, Sub Toxic. I don't know what their standard spread is. Okay, I don't find the need to run that much speed. But what the hell was I running again? I was running 120. So got 120. 266. Let's just see Fire Punch, Mega Scizor, Bulky SD. I'm pretty sure it's 2 KO'd. Yep, 2 KO'd. And Ferrothorn. Now you don't need to beat Ferrothorn. You don't need a 2 KO Ferrothorn, but it does 2 KO Ferrothorn for one. But it also the ability just to switch into fairy types such as Clefable, such as Mega Gardevoir, which can definitely be annoying. Just that is great. And the wish support from Alomomola is also amazing for this Rachi because it won't die. That's why I love Alomomola as a glue, because it passes it to all these Pokemon that don't have recovery, at least on this team per se, and it just helps them out a lot. And the sub Fire Punch also helps me versus Bisharp, which is looking like a pretty big threat. I'll probably have to do something about that. So next up on the list, let's look at what we are weak to so far. Let's use this real quick. Jirachi. What are you, Hoenn? If I remember correctly. Jirachi. Cool. So we have 2 weaknesses to ground, but we have a check for it, so that's fine. And Alomomola also eats up hits. 3 steel resistances. And we've covered the fire, water, grass weakness, which is great. Raikou, of course, putting in work on a lot of things, and we have Zard X checks, etc., etc. So we're looking good. Hello. Okay. We're looking good right now. Metagross check, Lopunny check, Mega Gallade check. Though Bisharp is looking like a problem. Again, I probably have to do something about that in a bit, and I definitely will. So a Pokemon that I really, really want to use on this team, and it actually helps a lot with the current megas that are going on. It actually does a lot of work, especially because Thunderous right here, which I don't think will be S rank for long, is not running around as much, just because its speed tier isn't the best right now, and it's kind of weak to have that slow, I don't know, the slow stat. I don't know if that's the best way to describe it, but it's not really running around as much. So a Pokemon that I really want to run is also the Mega of the team, Mega Charizard X. This helps us deal with annoying steel types. This helps us deal and weaken Lanner's T. This helps us at +1 outspeed Pokemon like Mega Sceptile. And this also helps with Clefable, because Clefable can still be annoying. This also helps with Mega Sableye, because Mega Sableye is definitely a threat. If I can burn it with Scald, I just set up on it with Charizard X, and I'm there to go. It's also a Will-O-Wisp resistant, and it helps us with Mega Manectric, which could be running around. I'm not sure if it is, but it does. And it helps us with Bisharp. So, Charizardite X. We're going to be running Flare Blitz. This helps us deal with Clefable. This helps us deal with Sableye, Dragon Claw, because I don't want to be locked into Outrage, Dragon Dance, and Roost. So, thinking about the spread, I want to run Adamant. Honestly, I don't feel like outspeeding Jolly Lanner's T after a Dragon Dance, because I can just smack it with a D-Claw anyway. Excuse me, a little bit sick. I can smack it with a Flare Blitz upon switching anyway. And it'll do a hell of a lot to a Scarf Lanner's T anyway. So, the spread we want to run, we want to be able to outspeed Pokemon like. Well, let's look at the viability list. What's the fastest in the tier at the moment? Okay, so what's fastest? This is the same thing as Metagross. As Latias. What's super fast right now? We got. Let's look down a bit more. Alright, so we have Lopunny. Lopunny hitting, what is it, same speed as Mega Manectric, if I'm not mistaken. We have Pokemon like Beedrill. We have Pokemon like Sceptile. Basically, all those Pokemon running around that speed tier. I want to be able to outspeed those at +1. So we don't have to go necessarily max speed to do that. I think it's like 286 should be able to do that. This also lets us outspeed. Yeah, it should be this, because we hit like, I think 429. 286 times 1.5 is like, what is it, 429? Something like that. So, basically, this lets us outspeed. This also lets us outspeed Mamoswine, so Mamoswine is less of a threat, and the rest we can just put in bulk. So, and this is great because we also have that that odd HP number. So we'll be able to switch into Stealth Rock 4 times as Mega Charizard X, assuming we're at full HP, and 2 times or 3 times. Basically, we'll be able to switch into it 2 times without dying as Charizard, and 4 times without dying as Mega Charizard X, assuming we're at full HP. So that's why I wanted to run this Pokemon. Also, is an immediate stop to Ferrothorn, and it just checks. It just smacks teams in general. And Jirachi is amazing for the team because with Wish support, it also beats Mega Sceptile, which is definitely a threat. A huge threat, honestly. So, probably one of the biggest threats to the team at the moment. Unless I can get a Toxic on it. I know Alomomola can take any hit, being Giga Drain or Leaf Storm. I'm pretty sure it could take a Leaf Storm. Let's actually calc this real quick, just so we know, because I don't want to be talking and be like, oh, it didn't take a Leaf Storm. Oh, I'm sorry. So Calm 252, and actually, as I'm typing it, I'm not sure if it can take a Leaf Storm. Yeah, Giga Drain. Hell yeah, we're taking the Leaf Storm. No, this is gonna go with. Look at that, we're taking the Leaf Storm 99 to 1, whatever. As long as they have Giga Drain, we're good. Leaf Storm isn't as common as some Giga Drains, so I can go for Toxic on the switch, and even a Burn would be nice. So that's fine. We're actually looking a bit Gengar weak, which is something we'll have to work on, or possibly work on as well. But lastly, I don't really like Keldeo. Just looking at my team, I don't really like Keldeo. I need a Defogger for Mega Charizard X. And yeah, the best Pokemon that's looking like it's also water resistance, which helps us a lot. Let me just put in Charizard X actually real quick. Charizard. I know we have 3 weaknesses to ground, but we have Lanner's T, which can take any hit, and it also has a ground immunity. As well as the fact that I'm leaning towards Latias as the last set. So I would say Charizard. What the hell are you? Kalos? Something like that. Charizard. Friend, where are you? Updated? Okay, I don't know these by heart. Let's say friend. Alright, we're just gonna go to the original, the Kanto. because I know that's where it is. So Mega Charizard X. And again, this is giving us a huge ground weakness, but Alomomola can take any hit from any ground type, wish it up, and pass it to Landorus T anyway. And this covers a bit more weaknesses for us, as well as covering, it's just good for our team. So I definitely like Mega Charizard X on this team. So lastly, I was leaning towards Latias, because Latias is a defogger, one of the most reliable defoggers on at the moment. And Keldeo check. I love Life Orb Latias. I love the fact that we have Wish support from Alomomola for it. So Draco, Psyshock, and Defog. Those are the 3 set moves, 100%. Now the last one, because we have Wish, is a toss-up between Roost, Healing Wish, or Hidden Power Fire / Fighting to deal with Bisharp, to deal with Ferrothorn. More so HP Fighting to deal with Bisharp, but we'll leave this slot open for now. But the EV spread we're going to use is Timid, max speed always, 72 HP, allows you to live Greninja's Ice Beam, not be 2-hit KO'd by Keldeo's Secret Sword, Specs after Stealth Rocks, and the rest is in special attack. So we'll leave this slot open for now. As we look at it, if I can't defog away, I'm kind of screwed by Bisharp, so I'm really leaning towards changing Landorus T. As much as I love Landorus T, I feel like it's kind of holding us back at the moment. So first things first, Hoenn. Alright, cool. Latias. So yeah, we have a dark weakness. I hate dark types. They're so good. We don't have a resistance, honestly. That sucks. But honestly, dark type is so good. Unless I'm using my own dark type like a T-Tar or Bisharp or Greninja, I can't even resist. And those aren't even good resistances. So because we are so weak to Bisharp, I'm actually going to change this slot to Hippowdon. Hippowdon, actually looking at it, I want to use Sandforce because I don't want to have that Sandstorm, which is more detrimental to my team than beneficial. So did I use that word right? I hope so. So Earthquake, Stealth Rock. You don't get Roost. Slack off. You're lazy. And most likely Whirlwind to help us with physical attackers, physically defensive, definitely. So that's the spread we're going to be using. And looking at it, Hippowdon is actually a lot better than Landorus T for this team, simply because Landorus T fears Ice Punch from the Bunny, from Mega Gallade. While having that Intimidate is amazing, I just want Hippowdon as a better Mega T-Tar check, as a better check as a way to Whirlwind out Gengar, as a way to beat Bisharp and not be super weak to it. So I definitely think Hippowdon works better on this team. And now there's a few things, because I do have a Hippowdon on the team, I don't know if I need HP Fighting, so I will be testing around the slot. But for now, I'm put Roost. I think that Healing Wish is definitely a viable option for Mega Charizard X if I do not have the support. If I'm not able to Wish support, or Wish Pass rather. But let's just put Hippowdon real quick. And again, every team is gonna have its flaws. We are weak to Ghost. Yeah, Gengar is a huge threat. The best I could do is Speed Tie with it. Alomomola though can take any hit. That's something that Alomomola is not 2-hit KO'd by any hit. So something that we're actually gonna do is we're gonna slash knockoff on this thing. Knockoff gives us a better option versus Life Orb Gengar. Even if they have Taunt, we can knock off the Life Orb. This also helps us a lot versus Greninja. This helps us a lot versus a lot of mons in general. So knockoff will definitely be slashed. And another thing that will be slashed here, this is a bird check, but I still do have Raikou as a nice bird check. And so another thing that can definitely be slashed here is Ice Fang / Stone Edge. Stone Edge / Ice Fang. Ice Fang helping us deal with opposing Landorus T, which are definitely a threat, but Hippowdon eats up any hit in general. And another thing we want to do is, for one, make this 0. That way we take less damage if we confuse ourselves. You can go between Calm or Sassy Nature with this Pokemon. Okay, Knockoff is not there anymore. But yeah, I like the team. Alright, so that's basically gonna be the team right there. Wow, 30 minutes. But before we go, a couple things I have to say. One, no team, even if it looks good on paper, I can definitely notice a lot of weaknesses. It's not going to be perfect. Mega Gengar, hello. Life Orb Gengar is definitely a threat. I can play around with it, but it's definitely a threat. A well-played Mega Sceptile can definitely be a threat. If Hippowdon is pressured by physical attackers, I can get plowed through by a Lanner's T, depending on how well I play. Though, of course, Alomomola can eat up any hits. And another thing I want to do, Roost, their IVs. So basically, it's impossible to check every single Pokemon, but I do like this bulky offensive team that we have made. We've checked most of the threats in Hippowdon. Raikou is pretty cool. Another option is definitely Leftovers on this thing, and Extrasensory for, I guess, Mega Venusaur, but we don't really fear that. We also don't really fear Lanner's T because Alomomola eats up any hits, especially if it gets off a knockoff. If it gets off a knockoff, it's, ooh, give me your health. Mew could potentially be a threat, but Mega Charizard and the fact that Jirachi does outspeed most variants of, or if not all variants of Taunt or Stallbreaker Mew, we're good versus that. And yeah, so I like the team. I definitely like the team. One thing I want to say, you don't always have to build like this, definitely. For a more serious team, I will advise putting in more thought into it. One of the things about ORAS or X and Y in general, 6th Gen, is that with the threats being, let's talk about X and Y, with the threats being sand teams, rain spam, things like bird spam, Greninja, etc., etc. You don't want to lose to any of them, so that's really limits a lot of team building, but that's basically going to be the team. Another thing that I want to say that there's different types of team building. Another thing I definitely do encourage, which is something I really 100% encourage. One, test your teams. Test your teams. No team is going to auto-perform well. Even if you're a great player, if you don't really know how to use these Pokemon, which, you know, a great player can definitely work around them, and know, but you won't always make the best plays, you can definitely mess up. So test your teams, know your teams. Another great way to build teams is building them with friends. I want to quote something that Hugo said, but I can't find it right now. But yeah, one of the most enjoyable moments that I have in Pokemon, also he quoted, I'm quoting him, is building with friends. So that's something that's definitely fun. The experiences that you have with your friends are definitely fun. So building with friends who are better than you works. Testing your teams works. Going on the ladder can work. You get experience with your teams. You got to know the meta. So great ways to know the meta: viability rankings, usage stats, etc., etc. Actually play the game. Don't be a theory mining horse, and basically know what you got to do in the game. Again, it's impossible to counter everything. It's 100% impossible to counter everything, and there's also different ways to team build. For example, if I'm team building for a tourney, maybe I want to go into counter styling. I want to counter style my opponent. I watch his replays, but that's something I can save for a later day. So if you guys did enjoy this video, I don't know if you watched it till the end, but if you did enjoy this video, please leave a like, show the support. Subscribe if you want. I'm going to be doing something like this with Chimpact, a weekly thing where we actually take cores that you guys send in, basically 2 Pokemon. I want to use Alomomola plus Raikou, and basically, yeah, that's how I built off my team, off of those. So that's going to be it, guys. Leave a like if you enjoyed. Again, the team will also be in the description. I'm going to slash Sassy Nature with this and give it knockoff next to Toxic. I'm going to slash Leftovers with this thing, and I'll slash Healing Wish on this thing. But that's basically it, guys. Hope you all enjoyed. Like I said, leave a like if you enjoyed, and until next time, later.